This is a transition phase for this team, and I wonder how seniors like Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma be approaching this series, given there is a lot of uncertainty in terms of who will be part of the team come the South Africa series. With all the pressure on them, how do you think they'll be approaching this series?
Very differently for the sole reason that Rohit Sharma has the dual pressure of being captain, right? He's been playing cricket for a long time, Neha. But I think this is only his eighth or ninth Test match as captain. Majority of those have come in India. In fact, I think he's only led outside India once, and that was about a month ago or a few weeks ago at the WTC final at the Oval. So when you look at those kind of numbers in isolation, I believe there's far more pressure on him because he's older than Virat Kohli. He doesn't have the body of work in Test cricket that Virat Kohli has, and then he's the captain. And because he's only captain once in Test matches outside of India, I believe he has the burden. I mean, I'm not even getting to the fact that this is a new WTC cycle and he has to lead this team to a far better record than it had in this last cycle. He himself has said that he hopes to be there at Lord's 2 years from now. So against that backdrop, I believe he has a lot more to prove. Virat Kohli doesn't have the burden of captaincy. That cloak was long removed. But he is Virat Kohli, who has a far higher status in the Test game than Rohit Sharma. And it's been 4 years that he's averaging 28, 29. So as a batsman, Virat Kohli will probably be hungrier. Also, he's gone to the West Indies now 3 times. He's played a lot more cricket in the West Indies. He's got double hundreds there. And he's the only Indian captain to win 2 Test series in the West Indies. So Virat Kohli, to answer your question, will look at it purely from a batsman's perspective because of given who he was for 5 years, the number one batsman. Whereas Rohit Sharma has a lot more at stake because he's the captain, and there are murmurs of a new captain being groomed. The BCI has also given enough hints with the new selection committee coming in that perhaps tough calls will be taken in the not too distant future. So it's a very result-oriented game. And unfortunately, Rohit Sharma has to back himself as a batsman as well as a leader. So between the two, probably more uncomfortable right now for Rohit Sharma.
Virat Kohli averages 35.61. He scored a double hundred in the West Indies in 2016, 250s in 2019. Like Jimmy was saying, hasn't been consistent in the last 2 years. But he's scored 186 against Australia the last time he played Test cricket. So are you expecting him to score big in the West Indies?
Well, at least for India's sake, yes, of course, I expect him to score big. See, they usually say when we're covering cricket in the West Indies, they used to tell us that, whenever there was a high tide, especially in some of these grounds which are very close to the seashore, if there's a high tide, then in the night, that pitch gets refreshed. And early morning, it could be quite juicy. So I don't know what the situation is now. But if it is somewhat similar, then I think with a very inexperienced top order, barring, of course, Rohit Sharma, who has, like you pointed out with your statistics, he hasn't really proved himself in the West Indies yet. But so I think there could be chinks in our Indian armor, and I think there are. And the West Indian fast bowlers are not to be trifled with. Alazari Joseph is an outstanding fast bowler, and I don't know if Gabriel is going to play, but
yes,
if he does, he's going to be another outstanding fast bowler. And there is also Kemar Roche, who on his day can be quite a handful. So I think they're quite good, those West Indian fast bowlers. They're tall, they're pacey, they're nippy, and if they can get some sort of help from the pitch, they'd also be looking forward. See, they've had a bad series in this ODI. So they would also be trying to prove themselves, especially in front of their home crowd, because the West Indians love cricket. The crowd loves cricket, and they would like their players to do well, and they'll be behind them. So I don't think it's going to be an easy thing, and we need somebody like Virat Kohli at number 4, maybe Rahane at number 5, to provide some sort of stability there, especially if they rip apart the top order.